said, my name is Lindsey Silverberg, and I work for the Network for Victim Recovery. We're a nonprofit here in DC serving DC residents. We were founded in 2012, so we're a fairly new organization still. And we have a couple of different programs. I think importantly, we do serve victims of all types of crime in the city, but the largest program that we have and the most applicable to this project is that we run the advocacy portion of the DC Sexual Assault Nurse Examiner program. So anyone that has experienced sexual violence that's looking to get a medical forensic exam, you often hear it called a rape kit in the media, is met by one of our advocates that's a full-time staff member at the hospital, and that person walks a survivor through whatever systems that they decide to engage in that process. We are there, as Elizabeth mentioned, for the police interview, and having started before the Human Rights Watch report came out and seeing what's transpired and happened within the Metropolitan Police Department Sexual Assault Unit since then, it's a significant change in the way that our city is responding to survivors. It's not always perfect, but I think it's a long way from where we started in 2012. So an advocate will, sit with a survivor if they choose to report to the police, and then the advocate will stay in the forensic exam for the entire time if that's what that survivor is interested in. And the other important piece of our job is that I sort of view us as like one of my coworkers. I won't take credit for this. It has this great example of we're like Google Maps. And so we will tell you the different route options, but it's up for the survivor to tell us which one they want to take. And so that's really our job, is to provide that information and those resources. And one of the ways that we do that, and some of the options that we give survivors, is to offer our in-house legal assistance. So we have attorneys on staff that represent survivors of sexual violence in civil protection order processes, or restraining orders, as they're called a lot of places. As a victim of a crime, if the case goes forward in a criminal prosecution, which is a very interesting and niche area of law that I feel very lucky to work with these incredible attorneys that we have that do that. And then finally, if someone engages in an administrative process at one of the 8 colleges or universities here in DC. So when we're talking about this, we serve, I think last year we served over 500 survivors of sexual violence, all from either visiting DC and experienced violence or those that live here. And what we know from research, and why I feel like this project is so important, is that first person that a survivor discloses to often shapes the way that person not only views their experience, but how they access resources. And so having a place for survivors where they feel like they can come and share that story and know that people are going to support them is such an amazing opportunity for them. I worked with a survivor a long time ago who unfortunately disclosed that she had been assaulted by 5 men, and the response from this person who was, her friend, was that she was so lucky that these people were they were attractive and funny, and that survivor didn't reach out again for, I think, almost a year until they decided to reach out and get some resources. And so something like this, is just such an amazing opportunity for district residents that can talk about what happened. I think it also gives us a good opportunity, something that I think all of us know up here about, to see where these instances of violence are happening. Because what we often hear on the news are the stories that, maybe happen in a certain part of the city, but don't always represent where I think we as service providers are seeing a lot of survivors coming from. So we're really excited for that and happy to talk more about the services we provide if anyone has questions.